You're jacked in. We're all jacked in. Let's jack in to Buffy's Angels. I'm one of the angels of Buffy, Daniel Ehrenberg. Boy, oh boy, have I watched all of these episodes so many times. I know them by heart. Let's bring in my co-host, watching for the first time this week, Doomed and Somnambulist. Here he is, Logan Dare. What's going on?
Were you? I can't remember what I thought like where we were leaving off with Percy, but were you like laughing at me that I think Percy was never coming back?
It's not like I was laughing, but I was like in my head,
Well,
yeah,
if you
I
know
know.
everything about the show, I feel like you're probably like anytime I say something that is not what's gonna happen, you're like, oh, what a dummy, what an idiot this guy
No,
is.
no, it's more like looking forward to when that shows up. It's
So
it's
you were
not like
excited for Percy,
what a fucking loser. He doesn't even think fucking Percy's coming back.
right?
What a moron. You think that's what I'm like?
I don't know. I just feel like when you're it's probably funny to you a little bit when I like think something that doesn't happen, you know?
It's exciting.
Right. But I probably didn't even
Yeah.
think anything of Percy. Like I can't remember thinking. I think you may have said he was coming back at some point, but here he is. Anyway, is he a commando? I had a question. Like, did we see him in that room later?
No, that would have been kind of fun.
Oh, I thought in the room later with Riley and Forrest, I thought we see a shot of Percy. I was like, oh, Percy a
uh
commando? I can't even
no,
remember.
he's not. He's just at a party.
Okay, so Percy, not that would have been cool though. Yeah, you're right. Anyway, guys, excited to talk about Buffy. Not as excited as last week, obviously, but still excited. Still a great show. And Angel.
Yeah, come on. It's the week after Hush. There's got to be a little bit of a letdown, but let's get into it. Doomed. Let's start with it. A lot happened. There's been a month since our last episode.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Hush airs in December, and then this airs at the end of January, sort of like pre-February sweeps kind of a thing. So it's January 18th, 2000 when these two episodes aired. We're in the 2000s now. No,
Wow. It's huge.
Y2K happened.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, I was excited about it. Maybe watch a little Buffy that night. It's possible. All right. Um, at the time, I had some VHS tapes. Buffy would put out some VHS tapes that all just had like two episodes from the first season on them.
And you think you watched those like thinking you were gonna die that night?
No,
Is that
I
what
was
you
just
mean?
I was just really into Buffy. I
Oh,
remember.
okay. Were you scared
I
that night? Do you remember?
No, I knew nothing would happen.
I think
I
like
was
by the
excited. I
point,
was sort of hoping there'd be more chaos.
but like were you nervous at all in 1999? Like I think like by the time the ball was dropping, people knew it was like a joke, but like throughout the year, probably not, right? You're
Uh,
probably a little scared.
I I wasn't.
Oh, well, look at
I
you.
remember not being scared. I remember just because all anyone would talk about is like computers are gonna go haywire. And at this point in my life, I didn't own a computer.
But you'd seen
Okay.
the Buffy episode where they hang a guy from a computer, like the computer makes the guy hang himself. So you knew
Yeah,
they're
but the computer's
scary.
not gonna make me hang myself.
How do
I
you
don't have
know?
access.
You
I don't
sound
have
like me.
access to. I didn't have
Oh,
access to a computer.
oh, okay. I thought you meant you're just like incapable. The computer, no matter how hard it tried, it couldn't get to you.
No, no. I mean, if I met a computer, I'd be like, "Hi, computer," and it'd be like, "Kill yourself," and I'd be like, "All right." But you know, I didn't have a computer at the time, and like the other stuff was all about like financial institutions exploding, and like I didn't have any
Right.
money, so like I
Yeah.
didn't
So who cares?
care.
Right. I guess so. Wait, I thought
It
you
was
said you just got a computer recently. You're watching all that porn. When was this?
that's a good question. Might have been like soon after this.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, because I do remember one New Year's going home after a New Year's party that I actually was at with listener Josh Merlis.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, and I remember going home and my parents weren't home from the New Year's party yet, and I had read Buffy porn fan fiction. I remember ringing in a New Year that way at some point.
You want to share with the audience what it was about?
I wish I could remember.
Oh, yeah, right. You remember. You
No,
think
no,
about it all the time.
I really don't. I really don't. I think one of them might have been Willow and Buffy hooking up in that dorm room.
In their dorm room.
Yeah.
They just like get so bored. They're just like, well, why not?
No, I don't know what it was. I think what like Buffy was like excited from getting home from slaying, and she
Oh, the
masturbated
faith
in the
thing?
what?
Like
Yeah, I guess
like what
so.
Faith taught
And,
us?
and yeah, so she goes and masturbates in the shower, and Willow overhears it.
Mm.
And of course, now I'm watching the show that fan fiction doesn't make sense because their
They don't have
shower is not
showers.
in their dorm room.
She would hear it like out through the hallway and be like, "Is that
Yeah,
Buffy?"
that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, you're right.
All right.
I don't think about that anymore. I forgot about that. They get horny when they slay. I don't think about that as much as I should.
Yeah, you should start thinking about it all the
Well, I
time,
feel like it
man.
should like at every moment I should be like, oh, she's horny now, but I don't. It doesn't even cross my mind. Like I forgot about
Yeah.
that. I'll
Well,
start thinking about it again.
please do, because it
Thanks.
does come into play.
Do we ever get a male slayer? Does
There are
Riley
no,
count?
no,
Okay. No, no male slayers. Okay. Well, I
no.
guess that person would just be like a nuisance, like making the guy extra horny. That like they don't need that. They're like, all right, only women are allowed to be slayers. They probably tested it out with a guy, but he was
Yeah,
like
the
a
horniness
menace.
would like
He was a sex
overwhelms
pest.
you. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's a sex
All
pest.
right. So anyway,
Danny
Doomed.
Masterson, the Slayer.
Oh no. His brother's good though, right? He didn't do anything weird. The scary movie too
You
guy.
mean from Malcolm
Malcolm
in
in
the
the Middle.
Middle,
Right. The
aka
one, the
Malcolm,
oldest
not
one.
really in the middle, just second oldest of the four
Right.
boys.
He's okay though, right? It's not like the Weinsteins, like they're well, the other Weinstein, he just like did he know about it? He covered it up, or he
Come on,
participated too.
they're both horrible.
We never
Uh,
hear about Bob though. Bob got off
I
scot
think
free.
Bob got off just because Harvey was so bad.
Right, compared, they didn't even think
Yeah,
about it.
Bob could like rape 30 women. They'd be like, well, that's all right.
I don't know. All right, anyway, Doomed. No Anya. I wrote no
Wait,
Anya.
I'm not done with what happened
Oh
in
yeah, I'm
the.
sorry. 2000s.
Yeah, there's a lot going on. All right. You know what happened between the last episode and this episode?
Yeah, a lot apparently.
Ice Spice was born.
Are you serious?
Yes.
I'm not a fan, are you?
No.
I don't like her rapping. I don't like her voice. She raps the way I podcast. She's just like so lazy. I feel like I don't like any of her none of the lyrics that
So
she
you admit
says.
that you podcast lazily.
Sure. The way I talk, I put all the effort into the editing part. Then I'm like,
Right.
that's when I really try.
Maybe a little
But
too much bleeping.
I don't even do that much anymore.
All
Only
right,
when
good.
it's really funny. When it's
To
like
you.
when I say I hate you, Daniel, I'll bleep it. So it's like I fuck you, Daniel. That's what people think that I'm saying.
Yeah, and then my mom comes and complains about you.
Yeah. All right. I forgot what I was saying. Oh, Ice Spice. Yeah, really not a fan. I don't think she's talented at all, really.
Wow. All right. Well, the world disagrees, and she was born between Hush and Doomed.
That's cool. That's exciting.
Yeah, I'll tell you what else happened this week is Michael Jordan's back in the NBA as in the front office of the Washington Wizards.
Awesome.
Yeah. You
That's
excited
really
about
cool.
that?
Yeah, I am excited about that. I saw a video this week where like he was like gonna go to the Lakers after they blew up the team in 98, but then I forgot what happened. But then something happened. Oh, he got injured. He broke his finger. He like cut his finger, so he couldn't join
Wow.
that team. And then they won the championship next
Yeah.
year. And then
Well,
he was like, "Well, I'm not
I
going to join
wish
the team
we
that won the championship." So then that's why he didn't join the Lakers. But we could have had Jordan, Kobe, and Shaq on the Lakers, but it didn't happen.
I wish we could have gotten that storyline in season 11 of Winning Time, The Rise of the Lakers
It's
Dynasty, but
over.
unfortunately HBO canceled it
Wait, season 11?
unceremoniously. Yeah. Well,
They
I
made
was
10 seasons?
no, you fucking dumbass. I'm saying I would have liked to have seen that, but they canceled it.
Oh. Why didn't you say like season 4?
Because
They
the
would have
show
never got to
started
11.
like 1980. When do
Oh,
you
I
think they
guess
were
so.
getting to fucking Kobe Bryant?
Well, they could have jumped around. Like this could have been about like the
Well, they
Celtics and
fucking
Lakers. Then they could have
didn't,
gone to the
dude.
90s Bulls. Then they could have gone to like the 2000s
Well, then why was the
Lakers.
second season the next season after the first season?
I didn't watch it. I don't know. I couldn't tell you. They can you're saying they can't break format just because they do something one time?
Well, no, they can't because they got canceled.
No. Okay. Yeah, you're right. So you like that show though?
I liked the first season. I haven't watched the shortened, annoyingly canceled second season yet.
You're going to though?
Yeah, I'll watch it.
Okay. All right. What else
Gotta see
happened today?
Adrian Brody as Pat Riley. Come on, that's one of the best performances going right now.
Mm-hmm.
All right. The American Music Awards. You want to hear about that?
Oh yeah.
Hosted by Norm Macdonald. I
Well,
was amazed to
R.I.P.
hear that. I thought this was a really exciting cross section of what the music world was in the early, the first month of the 2000s. Let me give you the lineup of performances. There were a lot of performances that night.
Okay.
In Sync performed Bye Bye Bye. All right. Christina Aguilera performed What a Girl Wants. Then you got Enrique Iglesias came out. What did he need? Logan,
A
what
hero?
what what was all he needed?
Uh, I don't know.
Well, I'll tell you, it was the rhythm divine. All right.
Oh.
And then Dr. Dre and Eminem came out, did Forgot About Dre. All
Mm-hmm.
right. Then let's bring out Beck. He's gonna perform Mixed Business, an
Wow.
amazing song. Then let's bring out Creed. All right, they're gonna perform Higher.
Wow, your mom losing her mind.
Oh my god, are you crazy? She's wet right now for those stap jeans. Um, then you got American Woman, but Lenny Kravitz coming out doing American Woman.
I
What
hate
a
that
hit it
song.
was! It had clips from The Spy Who Shagged Me in it, and then Brian McKnight comes out and does Back at One, and I wanted to bring that up because I know that Josh Merlis is listening. And
Mm-hmm.
I just wanted to say that I remember that was considered the song of Josh Merles's mom and her second husband.
Wow, why do you know that?
Because I was friends with Josh like around the time they got together.
That's a crazy thing to know and remember.
Well, I do.
Josh
Anytime
probably
I
doesn't
hear
even
that,
know
anytime I hear that song, I'm like, oh, Debbie and Rich.
that. Are they still together or this is
they're
like an old song? I
they're
don't.
not still together,
Oh.
unfortunately. Yeah. One, you're like a dream come true. Two, I fall in love with you. Amazing song. All right. Um, all right, and the box office. Let's catch up with the box office. It's Martin Luther King Day weekend. So let's put out a movie with black people in it. Huh?
Sure.
Number one at the box office next Friday.
Yeah. Covered by you guys.
That's true. Covered by us. And then Stuart Little at number two.
Love it.
Yeah, call it Tuart
Little.
Little.
Oh, it's Stuart Little too?
No, just because it's at number two at the
Oh,
box office.
oh, oh. Little, hey, little ho.
Hey,
Little high, little low.
why didn't they call Stuart Little Tuart Little?
I don't know. That's what I've always said about Kung Tu Panda.
Oh, that's so good too.
Yeah, they missed a lot of them. They
Yeah.
did. Did you know it's expend four bulls? Did you know that?
Yeah, yes, I did know that. I'm very excited about it. All right.
Is
No,
Cordelia in it? Do you know Charisma?
probably not.
Do you know what happened to her character? Like, did she die between movies or
Well,
anything?
I only saw the first movie, and I
Me
think at the
too.
end of the first movie, she's still like in a relationship with Stallone. I don't know if they ever mention her again.
I doubt they kill her. That'd be kind of dark.
I
Probably just shows
mean,
up less and less.
it does seem like something those movies would do.
Really? We only saw the first one. What do we know?
Yeah, I guess you're right. It's number three, The Hurricane with
Okay.
Denzel Washington. Number four, Girl Interrupted, and number five, The Green Mile.
All
That's the
right.
box office right now. And you want to know what's going on in wrestling? Big
Oh yeah.
news. So WCW, this is like probably the end. All right, there was no recovery after this.
What about
Uh,
ECW? When's that?
ECW petered out around the same time as WCW, and WWF just bought them both.
Okay.
Um, so I mean that was going on all along this time, but I you're already not interested in WCW, so I didn't want to bring ECW into it.
Yeah. Well, I used to know ECW more than WCW, probably.
Okay, well WCW is a way bigger deal.
Okay. I knew there was like
Um,
a um wait, did who's the guy with the microphone? Was he on ECW for a while? He like always had the microphone that came out of the sky and he would talk. Do you know who I'm talking about? He's like a blonde
oh,
guy who would speak into the
you're
microphone.
talking about Mr. Kennedy?
Mr. Was he on ECW, Mr. Kennedy?
No, he's a WWF guy.
Really? Oh, why did
Yeah,
I think that then? Okay.
I don't know. Well, he might have been on the WW. Remember when WWF revived ECW as like a show?
Okay.
He
Is
might have been on that.
that's probably what I'm thinking of the whole time, honestly.
Yeah, but ECW is like its own company in the 90s.
Okay. Why did I think that's weird? I pulled Mr. Kennedy of everybody. Like I thought he was the
I
ECW
loved
guy.
Mr. Kennedy.
Yeah, he's cool.
Mr.
Me
Kennedy.
too.
Kennedy. You don't say his name twice.
Did you hear
Uh,
recently that Kim Kardashian said her biggest celebrity crush ever was JFK
Mr.
Jr.?
Kennedy? Oh,
No,
wow.
Mr. Kennedy
JFK.
Jr.
Wow, that's wild.
It is wild.
I wish she was still alive today so that she could fuck him. I mean, if anybody was like aware of conspiracy theories behind JFK Jr., I think Kim Kardashian, like I assume Kim Kardashian knows everything. Like the alien stuff, she's already.
Like Chris knows everything, and she tells the kids probably. Chris
No,
Jenner.
I disagree. I think Kim just knows everything.
Oh, I always felt like everyone
At
says
this,
Chris is the mastermind of the family.
Chris is the mastermind. She got the Kardashian show going. She created the sex tape, I believe. But I think that Kim Kardashian is such an important celebrity right now that she's probably getting briefings by the government.
Wow. So they said, Kim, should we let everyone know about the aliens? And she said yes, probably.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
amazing.
that was her decision.
Well.
She also invented the vaccine.
Wow.
Let me Oh, so the WCW, they their ratings are falling. Everyone's leaving. It's a mess. They don't have Hogan anymore. It's a mess over there. Okay. So, in an effort to save the company, they fire Vince Russo, who is like the head of writing for them. And they're like, we can get all new writers, all new storylines. All right. But then what they didn't realize was that some of the wrestlers liked Vince Russo. So then they fired this guy. And then some of the wrestlers were like, well, we don't want to go to work. And they were like, what the fuck? How do you run a wrestling company?
Wow. So
And
the
so,
wrestlers strike.
but in an effort to stem the tide of this, what they did was at the pay-per-view that aired 2 days before Buffy doomed, they had Chris Benoit win the WCW title because they were like, let's get one of the younger guys. We'll put the belt on him. Like it'll change morale around. All right. But then right after they do that, Chris Benoit all of a sudden announces, I don't give a shit. I'm vacating the title and I'm going to WWF. Uh,
Wow.
like he was the champion in WCW and he was like, I will sacrifice this championship just to be like low man on the totem pole to this other company.
Good for
It
him.
killed WCW forever.
I love that choice.
Me too. He killed WCW probably even worse than his wife and kids.
That's
Um,
not true.
hmm, well, none of them exist anymore, so maybe the same.
Okay, fair enough.
Um, all right. So, but and not only did he go to WWF, but he brought along three of his buddies with him. They all debuted at the same time. Perry Saturn, Eddie Guerrero, and Dean Malenko. All right. So like right in one fell swoop, four of WCW's like top young stars all just leave. And they're like, you can have your fucking title. And then one
Wow.
year after this, WCW was in the shitter forever.
So by getting Eddie, did he simultaneously also get Rey Mysterio later down the road?
I believe they got Ray maybe before Eddie.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
I don't remember. It might have, or either right before or right after. Yeah.
That's cool. So wow, I didn't know that Chris Benoit.
All that shit. So that's all I got. Let's get into Buffy, huh?
On his Wikipedia, should say like he killed four things. It should be like his wife and kids, and
Right.
also
And
ECW or WCW.
WCW.
Sorry,
Yeah, World Championship Wrestling.
what was ECW? Entertainment Championship Wrestling.
How dare you? Extreme
Oh,
Championship
extreme.
Wrestling.
Yeah, my
And boy, oh
bad.
boy, they were extreme. Um, all right, so Doomed, the 11th episode of season 4 of Buffy. Very weirdly for Buffy, has 3 writing credits.
Oh wow. By the way, was this
Yeah,
halfway through episode 11? Aren't there usually 22?
yeah, we're halfway through both seasons here
Wow.
of Buffy and Angel. So, this episode is actually credited for being written by Marty Noxon, David Fury, and Jane Espenson.
Wow.
And the reason for this was it was originally assigned to Douglas Petrie, who we last saw writing The Initiative. Um, but he was getting married, okay? And the entire Buffy writing staff was at the wedding. All right. So
Hmm.
Petrie was busy, He like wrote a little bit for this episode, but then like basically the rest of the writing staff was just like, let's all tag team this shit on the wedding weekend.
That's fun.
Yeah.
It should have been a
And
wedding episode. That would have been cool.
I agree. And I do feel like this episode maybe feels a little too many cooks in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Uh, but that's a fun story. So let's support our friend Douglas Petrie. Great
Yeah.
job.
That's very cool.
Yeah. Um, and this episode is directed by just the fucking ubiquitous at this point, James A. Contner.
Wow.
Can't get rid of this guy. This is his 4th episode of season 4, having directed Harsh Light of Day and The Initiative. And he's also directed a few Angels, including last week's Parting Gifts. The guy's
So he's all over the
everywhere.
place.
Yeah, yeah. He's really working hard for Buffy and Angel right now. All right, let's get into it. I mean, we've been talking for a long time. Let's hear your thoughts on Doomed.
Okay. First thought, no DJ, no Carl Urban, none of those guys showed up, but it was still pretty fun. I liked the reasoning for the title. I thought it was good. But like I said, no Anya, still no Mom. Mom's gone for the season, I guess. But it's been half the season. We saw her one time, I think, right? The first episode.
Maybe,
And
yeah,
then
that might be
10
right.
episodes without her. That's crazy.
Yeah.
But anyway, so here we are. We pick up right where we left off last time, right? Where they're sitting on the bed.
Yeah, I always thought
And
that was pretty bold. Like I wouldn't have thought
mhm.
to do that. I would have
Really,
picked it up with
I feel that it was obvious that's what we were doing. We ended right where they're
but
about to talk. I
I
thought,
think that moment at the end of Hush is so iconic that I would have been intimidated to follow up straight from Hush. Like the events of Hush happened like 30 seconds before this episode. I like my impulse as a writer. I mean, not that I write anymore, but when I was, probably would have been to like pick it up with like her talking to Willow later about the conversation.
okay,
But no, we just get right into it.
yeah, I guess I didn't think that much about it, but I think I probably thought this is exactly what would happen is we would
Oh,
see what was happening. But so it had been like a few days between what happened because he mentions like you don't bruise at all. So I guess from between with their fight and him going in the room, that had been a few days, right?
yeah,
Um,
I guess so. Certainly not the next morning. I mean,
right. So again, well, he says like I'm a
although
walking bruise today.
maybe it was. Yeah, he says he's a walking bruise and she's got nothing. It would have been more amazing, like the next day, for her not to have any effect from the battle.
Right. Well, I think she didn't. It might be the next day. I'm not really sure. But yeah,
Yeah,
he says like, "What? what's going on with you? Because I got a bunch of bruises and you're like a normal, you look great. And she's like, well, I don't know if you know this or not, but I am the Slayer. And he's like, what? What are you talking about? What's a Slayer? And she's like, what? The Slayer? That's like pretty important. I don't know if you know, but that's me. Yeah, I'm the Slayer. And it was really funny. Like she thought he would be like amazed, like, whoa, the Slayer, but he didn't even know what the Slayer was. I
Yeah.
thought that was funny. A pretty cute moment.
And
But
and later in the episode, Forrest says like he's heard of the Slayer, but he thinks it's like a myth.
right, he doesn't think that she exists. But
Yeah.
he has heard of it. He thinks it's like an old tale, I guess, an
Like
old urban legend.
to scare demons away.
Right. Yeah, that was pretty cool. But in this scene, by the way, before we move on, well, she basically tells him like, I thought you were normal, but you're not. Like I thought this would be my first normal relationship after those two other terrible guys, but
Yeah,
you're like got secrets and I don't know. I need some time to think
I
about some
sort of
stuff.
get it. You can
Of
see
course.
how it would be disappointing for Buffy.
Absolutely. No,
You
I
know,
understood that.
like this isn't something Buffy like hasn't craved over the years. She's like tried to have relationships with normal guys. You remember like she liked Owen, my Emily,
Right.
and like
Why didn't that work?
do you remember she wanted
No.
to keep dating him? She liked him a lot. And then he became like an action junkie because of their night at the morgue. And he
Okay.
was like, let's go get in a bar fight or something.
Right.
And she was like, that's not what I want. Like
Right.
I want like a regular person. And so to find out that like Riley is just another player in her legacy or whatever, like her destiny.
Right.
Like that would be disappointing.
Yeah, no, I understood everything from her perspective. I thought that was all a good moment. And another good moment, by the way, we see Amy. Is this her second appearance in a row? Was she in last week or was that 2 weeks
Well,
ago? I
we
don't
see
remember.
her as a rat.
Hey, Rat, yeah, we see Rat Amy.
Did you notice that we also saw her mom in this episode?
What? No?
When they're walking through the halls at
Oh!
like burnt out Sunnydale High School, at one point you can see the
The
cheerleader
trophy
statue on the
case?
floor. Yeah.
Holy shit, no, I didn't even think about that. But
Yeah.
that's probably the last time we're ever gonna see her. This felt like they were like, we gotta do one going back to the high school. That would be
Yeah,
really
it
cool.
really does feel. I remember even like when this season was airing, it was like, because I was such a fan of the show, like I missed high school a little bit. I
Hmm.
felt like this was like throwing it in for the fans. Like, hey, here it is. The
Yeah,
mayor.
absolutely.
We referenced the mayor for you. That's nice.
Yep. Yeah, you can feel it, which isn't a good thing, I guess. But
Yeah,
I didn't really have that much problem. But that's probably the last time we see Amy's mom, right? I
you're
mean, I guess
probably right. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, probably. But we get an earthquake. Earthquake happens, and Buffy thinks something terrible is happening because what was the last earthquake? Like with the master? Was that
Yeah, last earthquake we had happen in Sunnydale was in Prophecy Girl, the season 1 finale.
right? Is that when she drowned? Is that episode?
It is that episode, yes.
Okay. And yeah, so Buffy's all scared because that's all she knows about the earthquake is something terrible happened. But everybody else just assumes it's a normal earthquake, right? And here we get the credits. And then, oh, Xander's got a new job.
Hey,
What was this?
what
He
did you
like,
watch the credits?
oh, was there new credits?
New addition to the Buffy opening credits.
Riley?
Yeah, Mark Blucas.
No, I don't think I noticed. I noticed the Angel. I noticed that Wesley's an Angel.
Yeah, that is true. Wesley has now replaced
I don't
Glenn
think I noticed
Quinn.
that.
But
No.
yeah, he's not replacing anybody because it was Spike that replaced Oz. But
Right.
now we're just throwing Riley in there.
What are his clips? The shirtless one when he grabbed his t-shirt that one time?
I don't remember. Well,
That
you'll
would have
have
been a
to
good
keep
one.
an eye on it.
You know what I've thought about, honestly? Like I've really thought about this. I've thought about creating my own opening credits.
Oh my
Like putting
god.
like what I think would be the great shots from the show. Like
You're gonna end
what
up
the
spoiling yourself
how?
because you'll like search a clip and
No, I would only
another
do the
clip
ones
will.
I would only do from my memory, like what I think are the great moments. I wouldn't like search other moments that
Oh,
happen, you know? I've just been like, oh,
okay.
this would be a good moment. I should make my own. I thought it'd be fun.
I'd love to see you do that.
Yeah, I might do that. All right, where were we? So Xander has a new job. Do we really know what it is? He like talks about. I think it's like a pizza making job.
It's he's delivering pizzas. Look, how do you not know that? You
Did they
had
say
this
that?
job.
I didn't know they said that. I remember them saying like he puts cheese on stuff, and they said like he deals with anchovies. So I thought it was a pizza making thing, but he delivers pizzas.
I think he's just delivering them. Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know that. I didn't know he has a car or anything.
Well, that's a good point. I don't know if he does.
Yeah. I don't really know.
Maybe he
What
is
was
just working at a pizza place.
he's
Who
driving
knows?
around in the Zeppo, isn't he? Or no, those are his friends driving around. Cudlets, isn't it? Isn't that Michael Cudlets and those guys
No,
driving
but
around?
he has that car. Remember Uncle Rory's cool car?
So that is that his car? Uncle
That
Rory's
is
car is
his.
his car?
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
I don't think he still has the car, but he clearly can drive.
Oh,
Gotta be.
maybe.
Maybe he's driving his mom's car.
All right, that might be true. But yeah, so Spike is Spike just like staying with I thought Spike stayed with
Or
Xander when
Anya's
Giles
car.
was fucking Olivia, but
Wait,
she's
wait. Xander has a car. Remember, he was gonna go on a Jack Kerouac walkabout over the summer
I thought walkabout meant walking.
or drive about.
Yeah, that'd be a drive about. But so yeah, but Spike, what's he doing with Xander? I thought he like lived with Giles, but Giles pawned him off to Xander because he had that Olivia coming. And now
Well,
Spike's just hanging out at
I
Xander's
think
house.
what happened was everyone thought the Xander Spike dynamic was very funny.
Right.
That's
Okay.
really the only
All
explanation
right,
for
so
it.
he's just hanging out at Xander's more, I guess. That'll be fun.
Yeah.
So Willow, basically, she's like, she says people are throwing an aftershock party because of the earthquake, so that's what she's going to be attending, and
They're playing Tremors 2 Aftershocks at the party.
that would be great. They should be doing that. The but so Buffy, she says she doesn't want to go do that. She's going to go talk to Giles because she's worried about the whole earthquake situation. And I have a question for you, Daniel. What the fuck was happening in this scene? Like, I think every line of Giles is ADR'd, and I don't know why.
Oh, I noticed this too. I don't really know either.
Like, Giles is there. There's nothing like Buffy's lines are normal from what I could tell. Why is like every line he says is ADR? Did he just like completely fuck up that day? And they were like, Giles, what is going on?
I
Like
don't
Stuart
know.
Head, we gotta like do this.
Maybe they rewrote the episode and they
His
needed to
mouth was
change a
matching
couple
it
lines and
though.
oh, his mouth was
Like for the
matching it.
most part, like occasionally they would do like some weird cuts where it wasn't,
Maybe they
but
fucked up the sound on his close-ups. I don't
I
know.
don't, I couldn't tell, but it was like the whole scene of like Giles throughout this whole scene was ADR. Maybe I'll put in some clips,
I
but
don't
it
even
was
know that this was the only scene.
really.
I feel like there was a lot of weird ADR in this episode.
So here we see Forrest. This is when he talks about the Slayer. He doesn't really believe in the Slayer, whatever. Willow goes to that party, right? And she sees Percy there. That was very exciting to see. And it all worked out for Percy. He's got like a scholarship to USC, she said, football scholarship. So
Yeah.
that's cool.
And his lady's all right.
Lori, is that his girlfriend?
Yeah,
Lori?
seems like kind of an asshole, but
Yeah, they were like talking shit about Willow, and
yeah.
I didn't think that was cool. But here at the party, something very sad happens. There's this guy, and he was gonna go have the time of his life. He was like talking about. He was like,
I
"Hey,
love this guy.
me too." He was like, "Save me a spot for Naked Limbo," and then they kill him right after that. Like this guy was gonna go have the best night of his life, and then
Yeah,
they
the
cut him
way
down.
he says like, "We guys serious about Naked Limbo cuz I'm in." That's his line. And I feel like that line says so much to me. Like it's like he was
He
in
was
a
so excited.
conversation earlier. Naked Limbo like came up in passing, but he's like really latched on to it.
Right?
And
Yes.
he's trying to make it happen. He's like, "Oh, I really like I can't believe that even came up. Like I gotta make this a reality."
And his friends don't even want to, but he's like such the lovable friend that they're doing it for him. They're like, well, we brought it up, we got to do
I
it
don't
for
think so.
this guy.
I don't think it's actually gonna happen.
Well, not anymore.
I,
He's dead. They're
well,
probably
but
not
I
going to do
think
it
they were
anymore.
planning on just like stringing him along, like
Really?
little guy. Well,
Well, that made me
it
feel
also
bad then.
he also seems to me like the kind of guy who like gets really drunk, and
That's fair.
so like you can say that sort of thing to somebody, and then eventually they're too drunk for it to matter.
Right, but he really remembered this
And
time. He was
then no,
excited.
I bet you he wakes up in the morning hungover, and he's like, I mean, if he didn't get killed by this demon, and he's like, Did Naked Limbo ever happen?
Yeah, and they lied to him. They say yes. They're
Yeah,
like, yeah,
you
it
you
happened.
don't
It was
remember?
great.
You don't remember, dude? You were hilarious.
You were the life of the party, bro.
Yeah.
This guy didn't have a name.
I don't think so. I think he's credited as partier.
Party. Okay, I really liked him though. This was one of my favorite scenes of the whole episode.
Me too.
And then something crazy happens. Like, so Percy and his girlfriend Lori, they are hurting her feelings, right? They're like, she's like a loser I knew from high school. Don't even worry about her. And she gets offended. So she goes into that guy's room
I'm
and
like,
decides,
Percy, don't let her hear that. He still thinks that she's evil Willow from Doppelgangland.
oh, right, I completely forgot about that. Yeah, he thinks
Yeah.
that she's a witch. Well, I mean, he thinks that she's a like the evil vampire version. And but she gets so upset that she goes into a dark room and just like lays down on somebody's bed, and it's that guy, and he's dead, and she's like, "Oh no!" But I thought that was a very funny decision by Willow.
I thought so. It's like, what is your life right now, Willow?
Yeah, it was very funny. And this guy, by the way, he has like an eyeball, like an Illuminati symbol on him, right?
Or as Xander later says, it looks like the CBS logo.
Who he mentioned somebody. I legitimately thought he was gonna say Les Moonves, but he mentioned somebody else.
No, it's Morley Safer.
Who is that?
He was like a newsman
Okay.
at CBS. He's a 60 Minutes broadcaster.
Okay. He was like, he's like, is this the 60 or the CVS logo? And then he's like, who am I? And I was like, what is he about to say Les Moonves? But then he like brought up some more the
I
Morley
gotta
guy.
be honest. I didn't remember the line about Morley Safer, and the second it came up, I also thought he was gonna bring up Les Moonves.
Yeah, I was like excited waiting for it, but it didn't happen. But so Buffy goes to that thing, right? Oh, there's actually kind of a cool shot at one point where like,
What if he said Mark Burnett?
yeah, that would have been good.
Wait, had that happened yet? January 18th? No, Survivor
No,
premieres this
Survivor's in
coming
May.
summer.
Yeah, Survivor I think premieres May
Yeah.
25th.
Yeah,
The
yeah. It definitely was May because I remember talking about the first episode in school the day after with people.
I may have said May 25th because that's my sister's birthday. It may have been the very end of May, like the 31st. It's
Okay.
it's one or the other. Um, but so okay, so oh, by the way, there was like one cool shot where I think it's when Percy and Laurie are leaving the party, and we see like the camera following them, and then the demon grabs the door. You remember that part?
Oh,
Like
the
the hand comes
hand?
in.
Yeah,
I
I
really
was
liked
like that
that.
moment. Yeah.
That was cool. And okay, so Buffy goes to like a tomb, and she like there's like a guy stealing from the tomb, and Buffy fights the guy, and then Riley shows up, and Riley fights the guy, right? And this is when we get the title of the episode. Buffy says they're doomed and they're never gonna work, and then Riley goes into like he says his skin is humming is a line that he says, and
Yeah.
a
He's
bunch
like
of
real into Buffy. He's like giving her the hard sell. He even says something in this episode like, listen, I'm not gonna force myself on you or anything, but I
right.
just want you to know. And I'm like, when it's gotten to that, like he's really like going for it.
Yeah, he like must believe in his heart of hearts that he's supposed to marry Buffy or something. It was very serious to him. And so I think that's really all that happens there. I think Buffy just ends up leaving, right? She's like, I'm so sad. And she leaves or whatever. And so then we go back to Giles. Giles is reading about the demons, and he realizes something about Word of Valios I wrote down.
The word of Valios is you know, something that they know that these demons are searching for based on that CBSI logo that they found. And uh Giles finally comes across what it is in a book, and he had assumed it was another book, but it's actually like a little symbol thing, and he happens to have it in
Right.
like a rummage drawer.
Is this when they get him right here? He goes and opens it and they get him.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So there's Giles.
I like that
And
line. He goes, "Oh, as always, dear."
yes, that was good. That was actually really good because I thought about that. I was like, so I'm glad you brought that up because I thought about that moment, like what he thought when he read it on the like because that's just like 3 words written on the page, but he does it so well. I thought I was impressed by that too. So Great job, Giles. And then we go. This is where I thought Percy. I put Percy is Commando question mark. This is because we go to that room. I thought I saw Percy
I
there.
think you think that just because Percy is the exact type of actor they cast as all these commandos. Like the actor
Yeah,
who plays Percy looks exactly like the actor who plays Graham.
that's probably who I thought it was. Honestly,
Yeah.
is Graham. You're probably
Oh,
right.
and you know what? At one point you see Graham at the party.
Oh, I just probably got him confused in that
Yeah.
moment. I got him switched up. The Okay, so Graham, he hasn't really said too much since that first episode, has he? It's really been Forrest. They give Forrest all the lines.
Uh
Is Graham a bad actor?
yeah, no, you're not wrong. Graham's actually not a bad actor. I've he's still acting and I see him pop up in things. And I'm like, "Hey, Graham.
That's
Good to see you,
cool.
buddy."
That's awesome.
Um yeah, but you are right. They definitely give the more verbose, Whedon-y dialogue to Forrest.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know anything about Graham. The Riley has a line here when they're all in their little bunker. He says, "Tonight we're going out in cities," which I loved. Which like they're telling us like that's a thing they do. Like I think they might have gotten complaints that like why sometimes they have helmets, why sometimes they don't. And here I think it was for us like cities, guys. We're going out in cities. Like this is the thing they do,
Wait,
which is like
are you saying cities?
he says cities, which is like their normal clothes. Like
That's
if
civies.
Oh, he said civies? Like
Yeah, like
civilian clothes?
civilian. Yeah.
Okay, okay. I thought he said cities, like street clothes, like just like city clothes was what I thought he said, I guess.
Who says that?
I thought Riley said that. I thought that was the term he came up with, cities. But okay, civies, which is their same meaning, their civilian outfit. But
No, no, it's not same meaning because the thing you said doesn't have a fucking meaning.
I thought it meant like street clothes. Like I thought that was the same meaning. Like city clothes is street
I,
clothes.
well, I challenge you to start using that casually in conversation.
Cities.
Yeah.
All right, maybe I will. Who knows? The All right, so Spike, we walk in and Spike is trying to kill himself. He's like, "I love you, Drusilla," and he jumps off the couch and tries to stake
Yeah.
himself, and it's very sad, but it doesn't work. Thank God. So, but I have a question. So he wasn't gonna die in that episode where they were shooting him with arrows, right?
What episode is it? Oh,
That funny episode, like
Pangs.
Pangs. He would like so he wouldn't have died.
It would have if it went through his heart.
But did he not jump on the stake in his heart? Wouldn't he
It
have
didn't
known to
he
try to kill
didn't
himself
aim
that way?
it properly because they interrupted him.
Oh, that's what it was. I thought he just couldn't die. So he could have died if they didn't show up.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Wow. So thank God for who is it? Willow and Xander, probably. Um,
Anya and Xander.
Anya's not in this
Oh no,
episode.
no, you're right. It is Willow and Xander. I'm sorry.
Yeah, where is Anya? Do you know?
I guess not around this week.
Yeah. So oh, by the way, Xander. Great line. I mentioned it already before we even started recording, but Xander says to Spike, he's trying to cheer him up. He says, "Think of the happy," which is interesting because to Xander, happy means boner. So he's saying, "Think of the boner," right? When he always says, "I have a happy,"
Come on.
he's saying, "Think of the erection" right now to Spike. Come on, Spike, don't kill yourself. Think of the erection.
Okay, fine.
And then I thought that was funny. And then at one part, Spike Xander says to Spike, he's like, "We have an apocalypse coming," and Spike says, "Really? Do you promise?" or something like that, which was a great line from
Yeah,
Spike.
yeah. You're not
Uh,
just saying that.
you're not
Yeah.
just saying that? Yeah, I think it is. Really? You're not just saying that? So Riley goes to Buffy. Riley's so desperate. He goes to Buffy and he's like, "Buffy." I think this is the scene where he says, like, "I'm not gonna force myself." And then he goes into the fry cooks thing. Is this that part probably?
Oh
It
yeah,
makes
yeah.
sense
Because they're on the street and they're trying to like
in their
camouflage
cities.
their
Yeah,
language in
they're
their
in their cities.
cities.
And he's like, we're both fry cooks. We have so much in common. And Buffy mentions Faith. She's like the last person that like loved doing this so much got into a coma or whatever she said. I don't remember, but she mentions
Yeah,
Faith.
were you excited to hear a Faith reference?
Of
Maybe
course,
setting up something.
I'm always excited for. I feel like we've had Faith reference like 4 times this
Yeah,
season.
they keep her in the air.
Yeah, and I love it because leaving last season that really was a concern for me because I didn't know because I knew Eliza Dushku's in movies, so I was like, well, like she could get famous enough that she just doesn't come back, but they are seemingly leading us back to that, so that's good. But so we learn they're gonna open the Hellmouth. They go back to high school. That Daniel was excited, right?
Oh yeah,
Very excited.
very.
I was too, even though it was like, oh, this is just like the go back to high school episode. But who cares? Who cares? But it's all burned down. They say there's mayor meat on the ground, I think was what they said.
Extra crispy.
And here we learned that the demons are sacrificing themselves. They're not like killing other people, right? They're like sacrificing themselves.
Right.
But then why did they kill that guy? I guess I don't know.
Yeah, I gotta be honest. I had the same thought when I was watching this, and all I could think was like they needed, like, they beat up Giles to get the word of Valios, so they must have
They had to
needed
kill this
something
guy.
from that party. But I'm like, then why did they leave Giles alive and just beat up? But they
Yeah,
like killed that guy and like carved shit on his chest.
and they
Like
didn't even like beat
I
up
don't
that guy. They just slit his throat right when they walked
yeah,
in the door.
immediately. Yeah, I don't totally get the apocalypse scenario. It seems a little by rote to me. I once read years and years ago a review of this episode that said it's like you're watching the Zeppo, but they're leaving out all the interesting stuff, and you're just watching like the apocalypse scenario that they're keeping Xander from. You know
Interesting.
what I mean?
Yeah,
Like in that episode, they needed to just come up with like some generic apocalypse that they could fight while Xander was off having this fun episode.
right.
And in this, it felt like you were watching that without the fun of the episode.
Yeah, and that one completely makes sense because it's about they have this one that like there was no like tact with it. You know what I'm saying? They
Yeah.
it just sort of happened. There wasn't like that much like thought. Like the other one, like there
There's
is
no
thought put into
twist
it.
on
It's
it.
like the Xander's perspective episode. That one like is great from that. But yeah, you're right. That's a good point. I didn't even think about that. And we so at the high school, Riley shows up. Crazy moment, crazy little finale of the episode here where Buffy like she like ties herself to something, it goes down in the hole, and Riley's grabbing on. It felt like a movie kind of. This
You
sort
know
of
what it
felt like
reminded me of? Bad Eggs.
you have to remind me. Is
Remember
that
at
the
the end of
terrible one in like the basement?
yeah.
I didn't like that. This
No,
was
I
way
know, but
better.
do you remember like she has to like go into that hole in the basement and then she climbs out all covered in gook and shit?
Yeah, it is actually like that.
Yeah, it's sort of just like that, except now she's got Riley to pull her up.
Yeah, now Riley's here. And so she goes down, she pulls the demon back up so there's no apocalypse, I guess, and they save the day. And they all love this part, love this part. Spike is so good in this episode. There's so many good moments where Riley's like, "Hey, do I know you?" And Spike's like, "No, I'm just here. I'm Xander's friend, my best
Yeah.
friend Xander." And he's like
I
doing this funny American
I
voice.
like how he says that. Xander.
I'm Xander's friend. Yeah. No, he says, "No,
and you
sir.
gotta and
No,
you gotta
sir. I'm
remember
Xander's
this
friend."
is an American dude doing a British dude doing an American dude.
Yeah, he nailed it. It's so
Yeah.
good. You're right about that. Yeah, I love that part. I really loved it.
I
And
and the big news in that sequence, by the way, is that Spike realizes he can hit he can like inflict violence
he turns into a
on
vampire, right? But he can't bite.
supernatural beings. Like he
Oh,
punched.
really?
Yeah,
That's what it was?
that's like the big moment in this episode is like he punches one of those demons and it doesn't affect him. And so he's excited now, like I can't fight humans, but like I'll fight the forces of darkness with these guys because at least I can do violence.
Okay, I don't think I understood that's why he could do that was because they were the bad guys. I sort of thought maybe he just like he realized he could punch, but he couldn't
It
bite
it
or
was
something.
too subtle when Spike said aloud, "I can hit a demon."
I didn't think he meant specifically a demon. Like he hasn't tried to hit like Willow and it didn't work. He tried to bite Willow and it didn't work. So I thought maybe his hitting was there all along.
I think he tried to punch Buffy at one point, and the same
Oh
thing
wow.
happened.
Wow. Well, Well, yeah, this was cool. I guess that makes the ending make more sense because at the end I was like, I don't even know if that like I was a little confused. I was like, oh, I guess Spike wants to go fight demons, but I guess in this moment it's like he's really excited because of that because this is the only way he can fight people is demons.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, that makes way more sense actually. Cut to Riley in his dorm room. He's playing basketball. Did you notice that poster that he has?
Of course I noticed. It's the first thing I notice in the scene
What
every
the
time
hell
I
is
watch
this?
it.
I've never seen a poster like this before, but I'm sure a lot of people maybe had this poster. But it's like, if you haven't seen it, I mean, you have, you watched the episode, but it's like it's a poster with like basketball, soccer ball, tennis ball, baseball, all the balls, golf balls. And then it says, but only two matter. It's like, what?
Oh, I didn't see.
Oh, really? Yeah, under the poster, it says, but only two matter.
Okay, okay. The every time I've watched this, and you see this poster in multiple episodes,
Okay.
um, is it says balls at the top, and then it's just a bunch of
It's
like
like 10
soccer ball,
balls.
golf ball. Yeah, but at the bottom it says that only two matter,
Yeah, but only two of them that matter, or
meaning his
something like that.
testes.
Right. Oh, really? I thought it was the
Wow.
golf ball and the wiffle ball. I thought those were the ones
Oh,
that mattered. There was a
yeah.
wiffle
Okay.
ball though. I noticed. I paused it and looked at them all.
Well, that matters.
Wiffle. That was a good choice. But yeah, pool ball. Shout out to Eddie Felson, Fast Eddie Felson, and Vince. Right, the Vince. He had a Vince T-shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that was fun. So Buffy comes in and they talk for a second, and she basically says like she's not going to tell anybody he's a commando or whatever, and then they kiss. So Buffy's into it. She came around. He wore her down enough. She came around.
Yeah, a great lesson from Joss Whedon.
And then go to Spike. Spike tells Xander and Willow, "Hey, I want to go fight some demons." And I was like, "What? Why?" But I guess it makes sense. There we go. That's the end of the episode. Fun episode. It didn't always click, but I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I'll say it was better than I remembered it. I thought I'd be between a 2 and a 3.
Oh wow.
Um, going
Pretty
into
clearly a
it, and
three.
yeah, yeah, and I come out with it pretty solidly on the 3 side.
And I think I rank it out of 67 episodes. I think I put it 38th between Ted and Pangs. What do you think about that?
I definitely like it less than Ted. No, I like it less than Pangs too.
Start
Hit
at
me with
Pangs. Well, let's do MVP LVP first.
yeah.
My MVP, I went with Riley. I liked Riley in this episode, but I'm thinking back, I really like Spike. But I think
Yeah,
I'm gonna stick with
he's
Riley.
mine.
Yeah, I love it.
I'm gonna go
Um,
with Spike and shout out to that dude who was excited about Naked Limbo.
yes, we never learned his name. Partier, you said.
Partier.
And LVP, I went with, well, I had Giles, but we did talk about that one moment where he turned like 3 words into like a really great
Yeah.
moment, I thought. But that moment early on, that's like completely ADR, was so weird. I
Maybe
also wrote down Willow.
maybe the sound guys get the
Oh,
LVP of this episode.
that's possible. If I'm allowed to do that, I might do that. Otherwise, I wrote Willow. She just like goes to that party and
Oh,
takes a
yeah,
nap
she
by the dead
lies
guy.
down. Yeah.
I didn't understand.
That's fair. That's fair. She also at one point appears to lie about where she was. You could assume she was probably with Tara.
Oh, really? Well,
Um,
near the beginning.
yeah.
Interesting. I didn't know she was even lying. I guess I thought she. Huh.
Felt like she was pretty clearly lying.
Okay. I thought that she was like. So I thought she was like trying to downplay. I think like how much fun she was having because Buffy is like not having fun, kind of. So I thought she
Oh,
was like trying to
maybe.
like be like skittish in that way. I didn't feel like it was like
That's
a
possible.
lie. But I mean, you
That,
know more than me, so I don't fucking know.
no,
But
but it's we read that differently. I could see it
oh, okay,
both
so you didn't
ways.
know specifically. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so
Um,
there we go, Willow. And so you put it under Pangs, go from
I'm gonna
Pangs
give
down.
LVP to Percy's lady. Willow, piece of shit.
Oh, really, Lori?
Don't be mean to Willow.
I guess so. Well, she was nervous. She thought he might have liked Willow.
I mean, come on.
She didn't know.
I guess, but
I think that's like the exact reaction somebody would have to like you meeting somebody you used to go to high school with that like you had kind of a relationship with for a little while. Like she helped him with his homework for a long time and they knew each other.
I guess
I think that's a fine
that's true.
reaction.
They did have like a give and take, like, oh, what was this relationship? Yeah,
Yeah. It
I
showed that
can see
Lori
it.
cared about Percy, which was nice, I guess.
All right, you're right, buddy. I'll leave Lori alone.
All right. Lori wasn't Eric Foreman's sister named Lori?
Yeah, R.I.P.
Oh, she died. Yeah, that actor died, didn't she?
Yeah.
Damn, you think Danny killed her? She said no and he killed her?
Oh my God. I no, I think she died of a drug overdose, heroin or
Oh
something.
man.
Yeah.
All right. The okay, so you have it. Let me read from Pangs down. Pangs, you have it 51 out of 66. So this is not a great episode for you.
Really? Wait. What do I have above Pangs?
Oh wait, I don't think I ranked Hush from last week. Did you have Hush number one?
Yeah.
I think that's why I didn't rank it. It was just so easy. So Doomed. What'd you say? What do you have above Pangs?
Yeah.
Well, right above it is Witch, which is way too fucking low.
I
And then you
definitely like that
have
more.
Teacher's Pet, The Dark Age, Dead Man's Party, Enemies, The
Yeah,
Harvest, Welcome.
yeah, go under Pangs. I guess this is pretty low for me.
All right, Gingerbread, Nightmares, Some Assembly Required with the fat running back, Never Kill a Boy on the First Date, Go Fish, Fear
You
Itself,
could
Inca
put
Mummy
this
Girl,
between mm, what was after Go Fish?
Fear Itself.
Yeah, between those two.
Wow, so you have it 58 out of 67, and I had it
Yeah.
38, so 20 spots higher. Wow.
Wow.